Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. Venerable monks, friends in the Dhamma. Today, as we are practicing throughout the day, according to our schedule, now is the time for us to listen to a Dhamma talk. For this Dhamma talk, our topic is, where are you heading with Sankhara? Sankhara. Once the Buddha said, Tayo me Sankhara, Punyabhisankharo, Apunyabhisankharo, Aninjabhisankharo. There are three kinds of Sankhara. Punyabhisankhara. Punyabhisankhara are the formation. Sankhara simply means thought, but volitional thought. Volitionally we think. In other words, chetana. Another synonym is karma. Sankhara, chetana, karma, the same. So we do punya, good deeds. Then we do bad deeds, papa. Then we practice meditation and develop jhana. That is what is called Aninjabhisankhara. So, with Sankhara, what happened to us is to be known. And without Sankhara, what will happen to us? That is also to be known today. We all are performing different deeds. Our actions, three modes of actions. We have physical actions, then verbal actions, and mental actions. All these actions are not volitional, not thoughtful. Some of our actions are unthoughtful, without thinking, involuntarily, unintentionally. We do things. For instance, while we are walking, we simply trample this insect, these ants, termites. Those are not karma. According to Buddhism, every action is not a karma. Karma means our volitional actions. So, we all do these different karma, good karma, bad karma, or imperturbable karma. Those are the three karma or three sankhara. We have to understand the terms. These terms are very important. You know, in Pali, we have to understand the Buddha chose Pali as the medium to convey his unparalleled message, because Pali is a rich language. The Pali terms are heavy terms. It is quite difficult to translate into other languages. The Buddha, when the Buddha used these different terms to explain what reality is, what the real Dhamma is, Buddha used different terms. First we have to understand what we call Sankhara. There are terms Sankhara, Sankhara and Sankhara. These three terms to be understood first. What we call Sankhara, Buddha never said Sabbe Sankhata Anicca. Sankhata are not anicca. The Buddha said Sabbe Sankhara anicca, not Sankhata. What is Sankhata? Sankhata means conditioned things. Sankhata. Conditioned. Things are conditioned. Means things exist in the world with the support of other things. With the things exist because of other things. That is what is called condition. Things are interdependent. Things are interdependently existing. So that is not what the Buddha said, anicca. Sankhata, all conditioned things are composed mainly with 4 elements. 4 elements: earth, water, fire and air. These 4. But there is another very important element, which is space. Without space, there is no movement. In order to move these elements, there should be space element. So all things, what you call matter, all things are made of these 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air and space. When it's a being, beings are born with 6 different elements: earth, water, fire, air, space, and the most important one is consciousness. These 6. That is how beings are born. So Sankhata are the conditioned things in the world. All these things are Sankhata. They are changing. That change in nature is not what you call impermanent. Sabbe Sankhara anicca. That is how the Buddha said. Now we have to understand what is Sankhara. Sankhara and Sankhara, there are 2 different terms to be understood. Otherwise we misled. We misunderstand Dhamma. In order to understand the change in nature of the external world, external things, Buddha doesn't want to do that. Because even the scientists today, they know better the change in nature. We all can understand the change in nature. Even this, now it is false. Or we can understand the change in nature of the leaves of these trees. Leaves fallen. We see this. That is not a Buddha's teaching of anicca. So, Sankhara and Sankhara, these terms, two terms are to be understood first. Sankhara, Sankara, Sankhara. That is not Sankhara, but Sankhara. Kara, Sankhara. What is this Sankhara? This Sankhara is the rubbish, garbage, Sankhara. Sankara, Sankhara means garbage. In the Dhammapada, there's a stanza. The Buddha said, Yatha Sankhara Dhanasming Ujjitasming Mahapathe Paduman Tatta Jayet Suchi Gandham Manoramam Evang Sankhara Bhutesu Anda Bhute Putujjane Ati Rochati Panyaya Samma Sambuddha Savako. Yata Sankhara. It's not Sankhara, Sankhara. We have to pronounce correctly, otherwise misled. Yata Sankhara Dhanasming Ujjitasming Mahapate. On the highway, on the road, the side of the road, in the ditch, there's a heap of Sankhara, heap of rubbish, trash, in which the lotus is grown. The Buddha said, suppose the lotus is grown in that rubbish, that garbage. The lotus is born, which is pleasant and scented. Just like the lotus, Evang Sankhara Bhutesu Anda Bhute Putujjane. Like that, in this world, among the Andabhuta, the Andabhute Putujjane, the Putujjane is the worldly person. Among the worldly persons, a wise person is born. The disciple of the Buddha is born in this society where most people are ignorant, most people are worldlings. Among them, the wise person born and become a disciple of the Buddha. Andabhute Putujjane. Such a person, Atirochati Panyaya, he is wise and bright, luminous with his wisdom, because following the teaching of the Buddha. Samma Sambuddha Savaku. Where the Buddha used the term Sankhara to show that it is the rubbish, this garbage, heap of garbage. Sankhara means heap of garbage. Now, Sankhara, that is the term the Buddha said, Sabbe Sankhara Anicca. That is where the Buddha said Sankhara. Now, in the Parivimansana Sutta of the Samyutta Nikaya, the connected discourses of the Buddha said, there are three types of Sankhara. Punyabhisankhara, Apunyabhisankhara, Anenjabhisankhara. As I said earlier, Punyabhisankhara means wholesome deeds, wholesome volitional formations. Wholesome volitional formations. Apunyabhisankhara means unwholesome volitional formation. Then Anenjabhisankhara means imperturbable volitional formation, means jhanic karma, in other words. Now, we have to understand, the Buddha said in the Dhammapada itself, the Buddha said, Punyang che puriso kaira te tang punapuna. Tam hi chandang khairata sukho punyassa uchchayo. Punyanche puriso khaira. Suppose the man is doing good deeds. Punyanche puriso khaira. Khaira te tang puna puna. He has to do it again and again because it is good. Good things to be done again and again. Wholesome things to be done again and again. Khairate tang punapunam. Tam hi chandang kairat. He has to find pleasure in it. Pleasure therein because it is good. The Buddha said accumulation. Accumulation of good deeds, merit is good. That is why we have to do more and more good deeds. Punya, merit. That is why we all are engaged in meritorious deeds. We all like it. Meritorious deeds to be done for the Sansaric journey. For our Sansaric journey it is necessary. Without meritorious deed, without merit, our Sansaric journey is painful, fearful and sorrowful. That is why Buddha always encouraged us to do more and more good deeds. It's opposite. Papanche puriso kaira. Natang kaira punapuna. Buddha said, there are people, they do bad deeds, unwholesome deeds, but they should not do such things again and again. Natang kaira punapuna. Na tamhi chandang kairat. He should not find pleasure therein because papa leads to woeful state. Papanche puriso kaira kairate natang kaira punapuna. Natam hi chandang kairat dukkho papassa ucchu. If we do bad deeds again and again, accumulate bad deeds again and again, it leads to suffering. So accumulation, that term is important. Accumulation, we accumulate sankhara. But accumulation, whatever we accumulate, is that for our pleasure, for our happiness? When you hoard things, can you be happy? Day by day, suppose day by day you collect something, whether it is punya or papa, we collect, we accumulate things, we hoard things, then what happens? It leads to suffering, not to happiness. That is why the Buddha's teaching, even before the Buddha, many people did the same thing. Many people did good deeds before the Buddha. They did their sacrifices, and they accumulated good deeds, good merit, what we call merit, punya. They accumulated punya, and they did papa, unwholesome. Buddha's teaching is different. Buddha's teaching cannot be compared with any religion, any faith in the world. Buddha did not want to introduce another religion. So Buddha taught us clearly both punya and papa, both should be shunned, should be removed, abandoned. Only then we can come to wisdom. Only then we can come to right understanding, real peace, real happiness of Nibbana. So the Buddha's teaching is clear. Now, with this sankhara, what will happen to us? We all collect accumulate sankhara, whatever we accumulate, there are results. There are results. Accumulation means karma. We accumulate karma. All karma have their own results. As the result of accumulating unwholesome karma, we will be born in hells. In hells. That is the results of unwholesome karma, bad sankhara. These are called apunyabhi sankhara. As the result of accumulating apunyabhi sankhara, all those who accumulate will be born in hells. As I guess you know the Buddhist cosmology. According to Buddhist cosmology, the bottom one is hells. There are hells. Unlike in other faiths, according to Buddhism, Buddha pointed out there are hells, not one, not eternal hell and eternal heaven, but many hells and many heavens. That is the teachings of the Buddha. Now, as the result of unwholesome deeds, apunyabhi sankhara, we will be born in hells. Now, as the result of punyabhi sankhara, what will happen? As the result, we will be born in human realm. You know, human realm itself is a sugati. This human realm itself is called heaven. It's a heaven. It is the seventh heaven. There are 6 heavens. So those who do good deeds will be born in either 6 heaven or human realm, because of punya. That is why Buddha appreciated it. But Buddha very clearly said, that is even in samsara. In short, all sankhara leads to samsara. Where we are heading is the topic. We are heading to samsara, not nibbana. Our topic for this Dhamma talk is where you are heading with sankhara. So we all are. All those who are doing sankhara are heading to samsara, not nibbana. So Buddha pointed out the way to nibbana, not the karma marga, but the dharma marga. The karma marga, karma way, karma path is the path of accumulating unwholesome, accumulating wholesome, or accumulating imperturbable. Now, as I explained, whatever the accumulated unwholesome volitional formations lead us to hells. Whatever the accumulation of volitional good karma, good whatever merit, we will be born in heavens or human realms. And then what about jhana? People are practicing jhana. They want to practice jhana. First jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and further immaterial jhana. Akasananchayatana, Vinyananchayatana, Akinchanyayatana, Neva Sanya, Na Sanyayatana. All those are called jhanic experiences. What happened to them? Are they released from samsara? No. Whoever practiced this worldly jhana, those are worldly jhana. Material jhana and immaterial jhana. There are 2 kinds. First, second, third, fourth are called material jhana. All those who develop this jhana, material jhana, if they do not switch to insight, they will definitely be born in material Brahma world. There are 16, according to Buddhist cosmology, there are 16 material Brahma world. Those are called material world. They will be born in those 16 material Brahma world. And those who practice next 4 immaterial 4 jhana, Akasananchayatana, Vijnananchayatana, Akinchanyayatana, Nevasanya, Nasanyayatana. Those are called immaterial. Those who practice, develop these 4 will be born in 4 immaterial Brahma world. So that is the Buddhist cosmology. So the bottom is the hells, next human realms, next 6 are heavens, next 16 are Brahma world, and then further 4 are immaterial Brahma world. All these are where we are. We are heading to these. These 31 realms are called Samsara. So friends, if we accumulate more and more Sankhara, we will be roaming in Samsara. Buddha taught us a clear way to escape from this Samsara. What is that way? It is to be understood. These Sankhara are formed by ourselves. How do we form Sankhara are to be known clearly. With our birth, we gained 2 things. The Buddha said, Khandanam patubhavo, ayatananam patilabho. That is what is birth. We gain khanda and ayatana. Khanda means 5 skandha, 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates are not born. Buddha used the precise words to this. To understand, to explain this, Buddha used precise, clear words. Buddha said, Kandhanam patu bhav. Buddha sometimes one can say that Kandhanam uppatti, like that. But it's not the right term. Buddha used patu bhav. It is patu bhav. Why? Khanda means all these are mental. 5 aggregates are mental. The people call this body, to this body the people call 5 aggregates. Body is not 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates are born in 6 senses, 6 sense bases. So we gain 2 things. I said we gain 2 things, Khanda and Ayatana. Ayatana means 6 sense bases. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind. You see, body itself is a base. Eye is a base. Ear is a base. Nose is a base. Tongue is a base. Body is a base. And the mind itself is a base. These are the 6 bases. Now, in these 6 sense bases, they are manifest in 5 aggregates. How do they manifest in the 6 sense bases? Now, when we see things, when we see the object, here we have the eye, internal base. They are externally there are forms. When we see the object, when we give attention means we have consciousness. We have eye consciousness. Then here the eye, out there is the form, then there is consciousness. These 3 come together. then that meeting of these three, I, form and consciousness, meeting of the three is called contact. With that contact, we can see the object out there, outside. Then with that object, just like we take a picture to our eye. That picture is the picture that reflects in the most sensitive part in the eye. That is what is called pasada. There's a place in the eye. The most sensitive part is called pasada, in which the picture that we take outside with the support of the light. If there is no light, we cannot get that picture. We cannot see. So with the support of light, we get the picture, and the picture is stored in the mind. It is stored in the brain. That is what happens. Now the form, the picture, that form what we take from outside, the external form is called bimba. What we take is pratibimba. That with that form is what you call form aggregate. That is the form aggregate. Likewise, this is a form of form that we take to the eye. Then to the ear we get sound. That is called form of sound. That is a form. There is the form of sound. Then form of smell. Then form of taste. Then form of tangible. Form of dhamma. That form is called form aggregate. So this is what happened to all of us. Even the Buddha and the Arhants, they also have the same thing. So, but in our case, what happens? Now when there is a form, with the support of the three, the internal base, external form and consciousness, there arises contact. It is because of contact, feeling arises. Feeling arises in the eye. Because of that form, we have feeling. Feeling is three types: pleasant, painful, neither pleasant nor painful. These three feelings arise there. That is what is called feeling aggregates in the eye. Then we recognize it. That is what is called perception aggregate. Then we think of it. That is chetana, karma, volition. That is what is called volition. That is what we call sankhara. In other words, sankhara. Sankhara arises there. All these are recorded. All these are well recorded, distinguished by the mind, consciousness, vijnana. That is called vijnana. So all the five aggregates are in the eye: form, feeling, perception, volitional formation and consciousness are there in the eye. Likewise, we have the same five aggregates in the ear, five aggregates in the nose, the same five aggregates are there in the tongue, same aggregates are there in the body and the mind. This is how aggregates are manifesting in the six sense bases. It is not a problem. Simply manifesting is not the problem. That is what happened to the Arahants, the Buddha. They do not cling to these things. But in our case, what happens? We cling to the form, we cling to feeling, we cling to perception, we cling to volitional formations, and we cling to consciousness. Then what happens? These 5 aggregates becomes 5 aggregates of clinging. Upadana khanda. Then they are called Upadana khanda. That is the problem. When we cling to this, how do we cling? We cling as mine. This rupa, this form is mine. Me, myself. This feeling is mine. Me, myself. This formations, perception is mine. Me, myself. This volitional formations are mine. Me, myself. This consciousness is mine, me, myself. In such a way, we grasp them. This attachment is called tanha. It is because of tanha. Now, as we have tanha, we want to keep it. We grasp it. Grasping, we keep it underneath of the mind. That is what is called anusaya, underlying tendencies. We lie there underneath of the mind. That is abhisankhara. That what we leave behind. We simply take this, grasp this, and then we let it be there in the mind. When something happens, similar thing to happen, suppose we see a person. When you see a person, then he or she has done something wrong to you. Now, when you see the person, that what you left behind, what you laid underneath, it comes up. That is called vitakka. Kama vitakka, vyapada vitakka, vihinsa vitakka. There are 3 types of vitakka. Vitakka means thought. Now, thought arises there as sensual, discursive thought, or ill will, discursive thought, or cruelty, ill will thought. Such cruelty thought, discursive thought. Cruelty, discursive thought, vitakka. With this, we increase our sankhara. These sankhara, since we have left behind, these are, in other words, upadana, attachment, grasping, clinging. We clung to, therefore, it is with us. We have attached to things, we have grasped it and clung to that. It is because of that clinging nature, that attachment leads to existence, bhava. Bhava exists to jati. Jati is birth. Jati leads to jara, marana, decay, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and whole mass of dukkha. You see, the Buddha said, dukkha is there in the 5 aggregates because of our clinging. That clinging leads us to samsara. That is why I said all sankhara lead to samsara. So we are heading to samsara. In order to seize this, what should be done? Whenever we grasp things, whenever we see the external form, we have to be mindful. We should not cling to things. We have to understand clearly. We have to understand the nature of it. What is the nature? The nature of changing, nature of conditionality, nature of changing and vanishing. With that understanding, we don't leave behind a cause. If we If we leave behind a cause, then there are results. If we have karma, then we have result. That is what happened. So the Buddha said, erase this whenever they arise, whenever the discursive thoughts, whether it is sensual discursive thought, whether it is ill will discursive thought, or whether it is cruelty discursive thought, we have to understand and let it go. Let it go. We do not cling to. If we cling to, then we leave it, we lay it underneath as underlying tendency. These underlying tendencies, as long as we have underlying tendencies, we are in Samsara, because we have Sankhara. With the backpack of Sankhara, we are roaming in Samsara. Buddha's teaching is very clear. That teaching is to cease this all Sankhara and come to the state of peace, real happiness of Nibbana. Friends, let's understand these wonderful teachings of the Buddha. Let's practice this Dhamma in daily life. In order to practice this, we don't want to sit on a cushion. In your daily life, while you are working, while you are walking, whatever you are doing, you can apply this in your daily life. Whenever the sensual desire, sensual thought arises, understand that sensual thought is arising. Understand it and let it go as it is, as it came. Let it go. Sensual thoughts. Then ill will thoughts, ill will vitakka, kama vitakka, vyapada vitakka, vihimsa vitakka, whatever comes, let them come and go. We do not grasp. If we grasp, we leave behind. We lay down, lay underneath. If we don't leave behind, then there is no results to come. This is the way. So let's all understand this wonderful Dhamma and realize this real peace, real happiness, the coolness of Nibbana here in this very world. May we all attain that peace, that real bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you.